YouTube. So I am working on packing some things up and thinking about daycare memories, and it's making me all sad and sappy. And um, on top of that, talking to an ex-boyfriend who, honestly, we probably would have made a really great couple. But the me that I was when I was with him was a me that I was trying to be, that what I thought men wanted. But now I'm moving away. He just sent me a message thanking me, I guess. I guess it's just one of those where I made him want to be a better man kind of statements is what he made. And there's just things, there's just things about, we just, personality wise, we get along wonderfully and great. We always have. Um, but, but there are, it really is me. It's not him. Um, I am just such an independent person and I like things the way I like them. And I'm no longer the person that I was when I was with him or when I was with anybody, to be honest with you. I've become very independent, very, I just got to have things the way I like them. That comes from being independent also. But I, if you've seen any of my previous videos or you've gotten a recording from me, then as soon as I do this, get on my piano or anything, do you hear her? Let me move out the way. See? Yeah, you. She gets her bone and she starts chomping and making noise while I'm recording. Anyways, for the most part, I've always been able to remain friends with my exes unless they are just totally stupid jerks. You know what I mean? Um, and he's one of them. There's so much about moving away that I just don't want to get into it right now. I'm trying to stay positive and focus on the new life that I'm going to make, like the next chapter, literally the next chapter of my life. Um, it's just time for that chapter. And I'm trying to focus on the positive, but it's very hard sometimes. The things that are happening are good things, but sometimes it means you have to say goodbye to good things. That's not what this video is about. Andrew, you will like this video. All right, so in packing, I have this, I've been going through things, and I decided while I'm sorting through stuff, I would pull out the books, some of my books on that shelf over there. And I think what I'm going to do is I'll put up a poll here, and I will let you guys decide which book I'm going to read to you. I'm going to start a new playlist on this channel, and I'm going to read to you. All right, so, and I don't know if any of these books I've gotten all the way through. All right, so this one is Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer, and this is the author of the Twilight Saga. This book is, it's written from Edward's point of view, and it shows, you get to hear his thoughts. And I have, as you can see, I've not even gotten very far in the book, but what I have gotten through, it's very intense. It's like very like, wow, I wouldn't even have thought that he was thinking these things. This is from the author, so this is how she meant for us to see Edward. So let me know if you want to. This is, let's see. I can't sleep, I murmured, answering her question more fully. She was silent for a moment. At all? She asked. Never, I breathed. As I met her penetrating gaze, read the surprise and the sympathy there, I abruptly yearned for sleep. Not for oblivion, as I had before, not to escape boredom, but because I wanted to dream. Maybe if I could be unconscious, if I could dream, I could live for a few hours in a world where she and I could be together. She dreamed of me. I wanted to dream of her. She stared back at me, her expression full of wonder. I had to look away. I could not dream of her. She should not dream of me. And I'll just read you I'm just going to read you let's see, the first bit. This was the first time of day when I most wished I were able to sleep. High school. Or was purgatory the right word? If there were any way to atone for my sins, this ought to count toward the tally in some measure. The tedium was not something I grew used to. Every day seemed more impossibly monotonous than the last. Perhaps this could even be considered my form of sleep, if sleep was defined as the inert state between active periods. I stared at the cracks running through the plaster in the far corner of the cafeteria, imagining patterns into them that were not there. It was one way to tune out the voices that babbled like the gush of a river inside my head. Several hundred of these voices I ignored out of boredom. When it came to the human mind, I've heard it all before and then some. Today, all thoughts were consumed with the trivial drama of new addition to the small student body. It took so little to work them up. I'd seen the new face repeated in thought after thought from every angle. Just an ordinary human girl. The excitement over her arrival was tiresomely predictable. It was the same reaction as one would get from flashing a shiny object at a group of toddlers. Half the sheep-like males were already imagining themselves infatuated with her just because she was something new to look at. I tried harder to tune them out. Only four voices did I block out of courtesy rather than distaste. My family, my two brothers, and two sisters, who were so used to the lack of privacy in my presence that they rarely worried about it. I gave them what I could. I tried not to listen if I could help it. Try as I may, still, I knew. Rosalie was thinking as usual about herself. Her mind was a stagnant pool with few surprises. She'd caught sight of her profile in the reflection off someone's glasses, and she was mulling over her own perfection. No one else's hair was closer to true gold. No one else's shape was quite so perfectly an hourglass. No one else's face was such a flawless, symmetrical oval. She didn't compare herself to the humans here. That juxtaposition would have been laughable, absurd. She thought of others like us, none of them her equal. And then this really, and then it goes, you're hearing his thoughts as he sees Bella. And so that's one, Midnight Sun, um, On the Road by Jack Kerouac. Kerouac, I have a hard time saying his name. Let me know if you'd like me to read that one. This is On the Road, typed as a long single-spaced paragraph on 8 sheets of tracing paper, which he taped together to form a scroll, representing the identifiable point at which his vision and narrative voice first came together in a sustained burst of creative energy. The scroll is the uncut version of Kerouac's masterpiece, together, wilder, and more sexually explicit than the edited work that appeared in 1957. On the Road, the original scroll in Kerouac's signature achievement and one of the most significant, celebrated, and provocative documents in American history, literary history. So if you like me, I've started this one, but again, because of being busy, I've only touched at it. This is for the kids. And this is, I believe, yep, Tea with Jane Austen. I don't know what a cover went to this, or if I ever had a cover. This is Tea with Jane Austen. One of the delightful but trivial details visitors to Jane Austen's house in the village of Chawton in Hampshire discover is that the Austens' tea and coffee, if they had any, was kept under lock and key in the cupboard on the left of the fireplace in their dining parlor, the dining room as we would call it today. Whilst to us tea is an everyday commodity in our larder with a wide variety to choose from on the shop shelf, and added without much thought to the shopping list when resupply is needed, it was regarded as something rather more special in Jane Austen's home. As Kim Wilson tells us, not only was it relatively expensive, but to be able to offer it to visitors implied some degree of social status. A whole industry had developed to supply the ingredient for the pleasant beverage, teapots from which to serve, and the tea sets to drink from. It is easy to pass over what may appear to be minor or peripheral description to the major story in Jane Austen's novels, but as this book shows, there is frequent reference to the simple demonstration of hospitality that underpinned the expected social custom of the time. There are also some wickedly tempting recipes included by the author. For those who love to rediscover how it was done then, this is a book to amuse and enjoy, which I commend to the reader. So there's that one. This is the Woman's Suffrage Cookbook, and I I could go through and share some recipes with you. This one is by Jane Green. It's called The Sunshine Sisters, and I think this was recommended to me or given to me by one of my sisters, and you can see, oh, I hate doing this to books. I really do. I probably didn't have a bookmark at the time, but I started reading it. I think one of my sisters either gave this to me or suggested it to me because it reminds her of me and my three sisters. Ronnie Sunshine left London for Hollywood to become a beautiful, charismatic star of the silver screen. But at home, she was a narcissistic, disinterested mother who alienated her three daughters. Oh, now I know why she gave it to me. Still, when Ronnie learns that she has a serious disease, she calls her now adult girls home to fulfill her final wishes. Oh, this is going to hit way too close to home. This was given to me before my mom got sick. And though Nell, Meredith, and Lizzie have never been close, their mother's illness draws them together to confront the old jealousies and secret fears that have threatened to tear these sisters apart. As they face the loss of their mother, they will discover if blood might be thicker than water after all. Wow. This was actually, yeah, I think that my baby sister gave this to me. I think. Or it was suggested to me. But yeah, I started this one. This was a this was a gift, Christmas gift, and I have a bunch of dried pressed flowers in here. Um, I'm not going to read any of this to y'all. I'm not even going to show you the cover for YouTube's sake, but it's called 50 Shades of Chicken by F.L. Fowler. Fowler. Anyway, 50 chicken recipes bound to be delicious. I'm going to leave that. And I've read these, the way they write it out is just, I can't. I'm sorry. This is one I cannot read on YouTube. Oh, and this one is by an up and coming author. It's called H.U.G.S. Hearts United Gather Strength. This is my own book. This is the second book I ever wrote. H.U.G.S. Hearts United Gather Strength is the second book of a two-part series by Dreama Collins, detailing her journey, along with others, through the grieving process. She shows you how to use grief as a tool to help you heal and grow, and how to avoid allowing it to damage your heart and relationships. This book is insightful and compassionate and allows you to see how grief comes in many forms, not just the death of someone we love. Grief is experienced when we lose a job, a home, a relationship, and a pet. Grief is a journey we all have to go through. It's unavoidable. This author does a beautiful job of reaching out to us through the pages of this book and her first book, I Miss My Daddy, to give us very gentle hugs and let us know we are not alone. I know my first book is in the local library. I thought this one was too, but I'm not positive on that. But if you'd like me to read this one to you, I'm happy to do so. The Parables of Peanuts, Robert L. Short. I got this book. I put a picture of, it's really dark. There's no way, I don't think y'all can see it. But that's a picture of me and my dad right after he became a deacon in his church. I put it in this book. It says, Merry Christmas to you, love, Dad. Now, 2002. Now, did my stepdad give me this? Because my stepdad was all into peanuts. It was like he loved peanuts. Maybe he did. Okay, so there's that one. And then I have all these little these books that lift you up. I read this one just, I think it took me maybe 20 minutes. I don't know if that, whatever, maybe not that long. My Beautiful Broken Shell. And it's a short, very sweet story and metaphor about life. Words of hope to refresh the soul. Chicken Soup for the Soul, stories of faith. Blessings from the Heart. And it's full of, it's full of little quotes and things. Moments of Grace. And their Bible verses and words of wisdom. And these books are good. Sometimes I sit down and grab one of these when I'm feeling confused or lost or just down, and I'll just read through the pages, not even in any kind of order sometimes. Peaceful Thoughts, and it's just like the rest, it's full of Bible verses and beautiful things to say. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Matthew 5:6-8. For as the rain comes down and the snow from heaven, and returns not there, but waters the earth, so shall my word be that goes forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me empty. Isaiah 55:10-11. Prayers, praise to lift the prayers and praise to lift the spirit. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Philippians 4:13. Lord, your word has such healing power. Thank you for the promise that no matter how dark our days can be, you will never let us be lost or separated from your love and care. You will never allow us to suffer more than we can bear. Even more, you comfort us through your Holy Spirit and save us from having despairing thoughts. And then Robert Strand, Moments with Angels, Spectacular Encounters with Heavenly Messengers. And these are just true stories of things people that have encountered angels. And this is one of my favorites also. And I am still working on this one. You can see, not gotten too far. But it is really good. It's called Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey. So if that's one you're interested in, let me know. And I'll read that one. This one, my baby sister asked me to read, and I've not gotten around to it yet. In fact, when she gave it to me, she kept trying to point out this particular. I felt like she was shoving this book in my face, and at the time, I just was like leery. It says the secret, the power, the secret, the power, and it says this is the handbook to the greatest power in the universe, the power to have everything you want. Well, right away, I'm like, Jesus Christ is the secret to everything. And so I really took this the wrong way. And as she points out, the book is about love. And so I have not read it. And so if this is one you'd like me to read, let me know. And this I picked up, haven't even started it, but it sounds interesting. It's called The Memory Keeper's Daughter. And I think the reason I picked this, see the dress on the front? It reminds me, and that's not a crochet dress, but it kind of reminded me of a crochet dress that my mother wore and my sisters and I wore. I think some of my nieces wore. And it just sounded interesting. The Memory Keeper's Daughter unfolds from an absolutely mesmerizing premise, drawing you deeply and irrevocably into the entangled lives of two families and the devastating secret that shapes them both. I love this riveting story with its intricate characters and beautiful language. The Memory Keeper's Daughter is a gift filled with radiant mystery. Kim Edwards writes with great wisdom and compassion about family choices, secrets, and redemption. This is a wonderful, heartbreaking, heart-healing novel. So this just looked like something very interesting. So I will put up, go, down on your YouTube page and go down and I'm going to put up a poll to see which one. I've got all these pressed, but whenever I press flowers, they lose their color. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Probably just going to get rid of these. You can actually order pressed flowers from Temu, which is something that I may do because I'm going to have more time and I'll probably incorporate them into my art. So I'll put up a post with a poll, and you guys decide which you want me to read first. And what I'll do is I'll read some of it each day, or maybe not each day, but we'll go through a book together. So, all right, so that should be interesting. So you guys will get to choose. So look for that poll in a post, and you guys get to decide which one I'm going to start with. All right. So I think the first three we're going to choose from. We'll keep it light to begin with. We'll probably do choose between Tea with Jane Austen, that's a heavier one. Let's see. All right, we'll do Tea with Jane Austen or my book, H.U.G.S, or this one, The Secret, the Power. So we'll start with these three. You guys can choose from one of these three in a poll. If you know, go ahead and comment below which one of these. You can do that as well. The Secret, the Power. We're going to start with that one. Are we going to start with my book? Or are we going to start with Tea with Jane Austen? So, you guys let me know which you want to start with. All right, and that'll be the first book on the new playlist. And I look forward to that.